What's up, you guys? I am her Shanice B.
And I am Natasha Shanae, and we are Entrepreneurship. Here we share our views and experiences on all things entrepreneurship.
The good, the bad, and the
We
ugly.
also talk relationship, money, and self-care.
So, are you ready for the shit in entrepreneurship? Stay tuned.
Hey, Shanice B.
Hey, Nana girl, you miss me?
Of course, girl.
So, what we talking about today?
Hey, y'all. We are back with another episode of Entrepreneurship, and today we are talking about all things entrepreneurship. Okay, the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? So let's first start off with the good. Like, tell us how long you've been an entrepreneur, and let's talk about the good things at entrepreneurship because there are a lot of good things.
It's a lot of perks. There's a lot of perks, a lot of good and highs and lows. And there are
Don't
some
sound
bad
so excited.
times. There are some bad times that people don't like to show. They don't want to talk about.
I feel like a lot of people don't talk about the bad. And I feel like social media has glorified being an entrepreneur so much that that's what everybody wants to be. Everybody wants to be an entrepreneur, and then they fail, and then they have to go back to their 9 to 5s, or not. It's not even that they fail, but they don't give it a good enough try because social media made it look easy, and it's not as easy as posting on social media and getting clients. So let's really just give them the real and the raw. Okay.
Listen, it's easier to get a job than it is to be a business owner.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be the first to tell you, it is so much easier to fill out an application to go to somebody else's job and they tell you what to do than being a business owner. If you do not like to do anything problem solve, if you can't create, if you don't want to do nothing besides show up and just collect a check, then apply for a job. Don't be a business owner.
And that's one of the things. So I had this conversation recently with somebody because we were talking about being an entrepreneur,
Mm-hmm.
and I was saying that like it's easier to get a job because we know our skill set, right? So let's say I'm
Mm-hmm.
good at doing facials. I know how to do facials, right? I'm not a marketer, but guess what? As a business owner, you have to be a marketer. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not a bookkeeper. I'm not a janitor, but these are the things that you have to learn, especially when you are a solo entrepreneur. So understand it's more than just having that skill set. You have to be more than just a lash tech, more than just a skincare specialist. You have to learn to do so many things until you get to the point where you can delegate and have other people do those things for you.
I
So
feel like
like
though,
you
like
said,
entrepreneurship is like being a mother.
oh
Think about it.
yes,
It's like
it
motherhood.
is.
It's a jack of all trades. So put it like this: if you can handle motherhood, you can be an entrepreneur. If you can't handle motherhood, you can't be an entrepreneur. If you can't handle entrepreneur, push back motherhood till you get the patience. Because you're gonna have, just like with a kid, brand new kid, motherhood. You have to gain patience. That first couple of years, your patience is tested. That first couple of weeks, your patience is tested. Okay, you are
Absolutely.
sleep deprived. Everybody messing with you. You got this baby pull up on you. You got if you got more kids, if you got a man, if you got a
Ooh.
job. So it's just like entrepreneurship. Entrepreneur, you have to do payroll, you have to be delivery, you have to be customer service, you have to be the content, you have to be the marketer, you have to be everything. So just like when you have a child, you have to raise that child to grow. Your business is the same way.
You got to
You
be the
have to raise,
teacher. You got to
yeah,
do everything with a
you
kid.
got
The
to wipe
cook,
them boogers. When you cry, who gonna help you out? When that
the
baby cry,
nurse.
you the nurse, you the doctor, you
Yeah.
everything. So I tell everyone, and for me, I'm doing it with a full time job. I'm still full time working, so it takes a lot of patience. It takes a lot of time. Do we cry? Do we fuss? Do we get mad? Yes, we do. Trust me. I was crying the other day trying to figure out some stuff. But you keep pushing, you keep moving. Same way like being a parent. You keep going. That's your child. This is your child. This is your baby. You put all this effort in.
So
So
let's talk about that. You did say that you still work full time. So
mhm.
how long have you been an entrepreneur? Even though you still work full time, how long have you been doing this entrepreneur thing? Because I'm different. I don't work full time anymore. But go
Mhm.
ahead. Let me hear yours.
Oh, I've been working for. in human resource for over 15 plus years, and I've been a entrepreneur for about 4 or 5 years now, and it's hard. It's
Mm-hmm.
hard. It has its highs and lows. Some days I sit back and like, I don't need this. I got a full time.
You're right.
I got a full
So
time
what
job.
made you go into it? If you have the full-time job, like what made you do it?
Because when maybe go into okay, so my first idea I came into it was I wanted to because I always get asked about hair about my hair every time. Um the way I used to wear my hairstyles. And I was like, well, and I had saw some girls and I started, looking at reality show and I'm like, how are they making that money with hair? And I wear weaves. So tell me like I should be able to do this. So when I started researching and I kept trying to figure out like how do you get, your business license and how do you get vendors, I kept getting hung up on vendors. Like I knew what kind of hair I liked, but my thing was I didn't know how to trust the vendor and how to communicate with a vendor. And it wasn't until quarantine when all that stuff became available. And I'm saying like, wait, I come to you. I didn't know all of this prior to quarantine. So when quarantine came and all these classes started coming up, and I'm like, oh, okay, so I can really pursue
Right.
my my dream to doing this and doing that. So that's
Oh,
how
so
I
you was gonna go, you was gonna do hair. You was gonna go into
yes.
that? Oh, I
Mhm.
never knew that. Or maybe
My
you
whole
told me,
thing
but I
was
can't remember.
hair. My whole thing was hair because if anyone ever come out and talk, they would tell you everyone comes to me about hair. Anything. I used to get phone calls. A hairstylist. Can you get me some hair? And I was like, well, let me just start a hair business
I
because
mean, you do
everyone.
switch up them hairstyles. So one day you
Yeah,
got curly, next day you got braids, then you got straight. So you be switching it up. So I could see why they
yeah.
would come to you.
So
I
yes,
did
but
not
I
know it
just
was
ain't know.
hair.
Yes, I just ain't know how much money when hair wasn't as easy as it is now to open up a hair business during that time. Thought I needed like tens and tens of thousands of dollars. But now when you see entrepreneur, you're like, wait a minute, I can start a hair business, I can drop ship, I can do this and I can do that. I ain't gotta buy all this inventory and leave it in my house and beg people to,
Right.
so it's like, oh, okay. So that's why that's the reason why I never left my 9 to 5 because I never knew the extra steps, the other steps that I needed to take in order to actually open up the hair business.
Do you ever see yourself leaving your 9 to 5?
Oh yes,
Oh,
yes.
really?
I
Oh,
think I think the only way for entrepreneurs to pivot, you have to remove yourself from your 9 to 5 because even though I have my other businesses, but my 9 to 5 take priority.
yes.
Everything that goes on with that business take priority. Sometimes I can't even record and I can't do this because if I have an issue, and especially with the job that I do, I'm ops, I'm operations. So if there's an issue, a payroll issue, anything, I have to stop this because that's my main focus.
Right.
So yeah, so I tell anyone if you are an entrepreneur and you work a 9 to 5, you have to put yourself on some type of schedule because if you don't, you will be stuck and your business won't be able to pivot because you so busy focusing on your main income and making that business pivot, your second business won't pivot.
Listen, so I do like something you said. So you said that you eventually you want to leave your 9 to 5 because you know that your business cannot really be successful if you
Mhm.
still have that, right? So that was really my reasoning for leaving my 9 to 5. So I have been an entrepreneur off and on for about 8 years now. It is crazy. It's crazy that it's even been that long. I sat back yesterday and I was calculating it, but 8 years, but a full-time entrepreneur, it's been about 2.5 years, almost 3 years. That's crazy too. Um, but
How does that feel?
it feels good. It feels good, but then there's those tough times where it's scary, right? It is scary
Right.
because I've been working since I was 12 and 13 years old.
Right.
So I've always had a job. So to not have a job is a little scary, but it feels good. It's very rewarding. But what I was gonna say is I left my job because I knew I had a bigger purpose. I knew I wanted more, and I knew that the only way for me to get uncomfortable is to leave that 9 to 5. My business would never be where I wanted to be if I did not have that, because that's always a plan B. If I have no plan B, then plan A has to work. So that was my thinking
That's
when I
good.
left. I have no choice because like I said, I worked in law enforcement, right? when I started my first business, I was selling clothing. How many times did I stop that business? I didn't grand open the business about 3 times now. Why? Because I didn't need it. And I knew I wanted to do something else, but it's like, I don't need it. I'm going to just go work extra hours. So now I have a ton of inventory in my house with stuff that I cannot sell because I don't need that money, because I know I could just go work for somebody and I get a steady paycheck, right? Um, so when I moved into the beauty industry, I found something that I was really passionate about, something that I really loved. And I told myself, I want a spa, but eventually I want a spa big enough that I don't have to work in there. And then I want to use that spa money to invest in real estate. I've always wanted to do real estate, but I didn't have the funds and I didn't know how to do it without the funds. So that was my initial goal. So I knew that where I was at in my life at that time, um, the job just wasn't doing it for me. So I say, you know what, now is the perfect opportunity for me to just take that leap of faith. And if it don't work, it don't work. At least I tried. And my mother always would say that to me. It's better to try and fail than to fail to try.
Yeah.
So that's what I said. I'm gonna just try it. And if it don't work, guess what? I'm gonna get another job. Like, what is the big deal? Because to me, even though it was law enforcement, even though there was a pension promise at the end, is never guaranteed.
No.
And to me, it was still a job. It wasn't something I enjoyed doing. It was something that I felt like I had to do to provide. So yeah, I'm happy with where I am right now. I'm happy
See,
as an entrepreneur.
see,
Listen,
you got the
I
best of
make
both
my own
worlds.
hours. Like,
Right.
entrepreneur, like I said, it's not all fun, but I make my own hours. I come and go as I please. I
Mhm.
decide who I want to deal with. How many times do we work for somebody and we have to deal with that person because we work with them, or we have to deal with that rude client because we work for somebody else? Me and my business,
Listen,
I don't have to deal with you. I can fire my clients. Okay? I can fire
a
y'all.
lot of people don't realize that they can fire their clients. Like you can say, you know what, your service is no longer needed here in my business. But see,
The
that's the
money is
best.
not worth it, ma'am.
I mean, what? But yeah, I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there soon. I have my
You
time.
are.
I have my dates. I know what I need to do. I had my aha moment this week. You know how they sit back and tell you, you know how what's the face was sitting back and telling us, you need to calculate how many what you need a month to be able to do this and that and that and this. And I finally
Hmm.
realized yesterday, okay, in this business, I know what I need in order to live comfortably. But yeah, when you just make sure before you leave your job to have a roadmap and make sure that you know what to do, because one thing about being an entrepreneur, one thing people don't talk about that don't know entrepreneurs talk about once you leave a job, we have to make sure we get insurance, people. If you don't do nothing else, get some insurance. If you don't do nothing
That
else,
was
I
the
don't
hardest
care if you
thing
don't,
for me to find.
there's health insurance. See, and I think that's my number one reason for me why I'm
Hmm.
only, because of who I work for, my benefits are amazing. But I know that my business will not be able to pivot until I walk away. I have to. I know what I can bring to the table. I got over 15 years of ops. I can
Okay.
walk into almost anyone's business and fix their business very much easily. 15 years of ops. There's probably not near one person that's an entrepreneur that has 15 years of ops. The average
Period.
person that I talk to that has ops background, that's an entrepreneur that have like a year or two. I got 15 more
Listen,
years.
and that's a blessing, because that's another thing in entrepreneurship that is great. You can actually delegate. So she has the background in ops. I don't have no background in operations. I know how to clear skin. That's all I know how to do. I know how to wax, right? And I know how to de-escalate some stuff because of being in a prison, right? But that's what I know how to do. So when you become an entrepreneur and you get to a place, you can actually hire somebody and delegate, and they
Yes.
can do the things that you need them to do. Now you can step away from doing so many different tasks. So that's another thing that's good about, being an entrepreneur. Now, I am not there yet where I can afford to hire Shanice, because Shanice is she just said she got 15 years of ops, right? Like, she got
Ain't
15
cheap.
years. That means I gotta pay, right? I'm not there yet. But one day I'm gonna get there and I'm gonna have her come in and just do revamp all this shit. I don't, just tell me how much I owe you. That's really what I desire, because And as an
It's
entrepreneur,
possible.
that's what you should be desiring. You should desire somebody to come in and do it for you, especially where you lack. I don't know how to do this stuff. I can't do everything. So I need to be able to delegate and pay somebody else to do it. Um, so yeah. I'm gonna get there though,
That's
y'all.
true. Oh, you most definitely gonna get there. Listen, you're gonna pivot. You have to. Listen. Everyone will pivot in their business. We all gonna pivot. We not gonna manifest. It's gonna work. It's gonna
Yes.
be there. Look, we have a podcast. Anything's possible. Look at us. Who would have
Period.
thought 3 years? Like really, think about it, y'all. Anyone? Think about it. 3 years ago today, would you would have thought that you'd be doing the things that you're doing right now? No.
Absolutely not.
Like that's the best thing about being an entrepreneur. The sky's the limit. Like you heard what Natasha said. You heard what I said. I started off wanting to do hair, and I still want to do a hairline. But I went from a hairline. Now I have a spa. Now I have an esthetician license. Now I have an
Yes.
entire ops business that I provide back office support for entrepreneurs, right? And Natasha does too. Natasha teaches. She's mentors. We both have a big business community. We have a podcast. She teaches teeth whitening. She's an esthetician. She's a licensed esthetician at that. She has her own spa. Like I'm giving my girl kudos when I'm talking about me. And this
Exactly.
entrepreneurship. So like when you pivot, just think about it, people. Starting one business can pivot into multiple businesses that can pivot to multiple different relationships you get with different people. It pivot into different things you're doing. Like, look, me and Natasha met one day at a training, and here it is 2.5 years later. We got a whole community and a podcast.
And we're
Who would
working
have?
together.
And we ain't know each other from a can of paint. I don't know her mom and
And
them.
we ain't hating on each other. We support each other. But that's a whole nother episode.
That's a whole nother episode.
But listen to the word that Shanice keep using. Shanice keeps saying pivot. I want everybody to know in this entrepreneur world, you will have to pivot, right?
You
There
have to.
will be something that you start that you realize that you no longer want to do. Like for me, I realized I love selling clothes. I love buying clothes. To this day, I would do it if I found a good maybe drop shipping place, right?
Right.
Um, but I realized I don't want to do it because I don't want to go ship nothing. And this is something as small as that. To me, it's
And
an
it's
inconvenience.
okay.
It's an inconvenience. And I'd rather go to my spa and I'd rather do extractions than to go ship some stuff. That's just me. And don't be afraid to pivot. If something is not working or something does not feel rewarding, you don't have to do it. Just because you started off doing one thing, hello, pivot, do something else. Me, who would have thought that I would be out here doing speaking engagements? I would have never. To this day, I'm still terrified to speak, and nobody believes me. But people who, for real, people who just meet me, I had a talk with one of my mentors, mentees, maybe 2 days ago. And she
Uh-huh.
was like, "You're so out there. You're so outgoing." Da, 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 da. I said, "This is not me. Like, this is who I have to be now that I'm an entrepreneur, right? I had to be this person. I was never a person to go live. I was never a person to speak in public. I'm always like shy, reserved, but I have to. Like, you have to. Bills got to get paid, right? So
Mhm.
I know that my one stream of income is in my spa. But I know that as an entrepreneur, you need multiple streams of income. My second stream is in business credit. So I have to talk. I have to get in front of people. I cannot be afraid anymore because the bills got to get paid. I need
That's right.
multiple streams. So sometimes you just pushed into something that you never really saw yourself doing. So
You're like me. I wasn't trying to do ops. I wasn't trying to do teaching. I was not trying to be in no group. And then here I am. Like they literally argued me down for almost 2 years. I was still
that's why
trying.
you need business friends.
I was still doing my body. Y'all gonna leave me alone. Then I signed up for esthetician school. Okay, I'm gonna get my esthetician license. When I tell you Natasha stay to me, you need to get your license.
Because you already into this beauty stuff. It's like, hello, what are you waiting for? You're already into this beauty industry. Like you said, hair, people come to you for hair. You got nice skin. Like you care
Mm-hmm.
about waxing. Like, duh, get a license. Hello. And then later on, in a couple years, you never know. We may partner up and have a bigger spa, right? Two
Boom, boom.
estheticians. Listen, the story gets greater later, okay?
I like that. The story get greater later. Ooh, don't nobody steal that. That's ours. Let me break that down.
Entrepreneurship, okay?
The story get greater later.
Put it
Let
on
me
a
break that
t-shirt.
down.
Put it on a t-shirt. See, here go another
Right.
stream, y'all. I don't play about multiple streams of income.
And
Now
she
I
know
need
I'm
a
gonna make sure
t-shirt
we
line.
get it done. We already got like 5 other businesses. This gonna get made. We might have this shirt on the next time y'all see us.
Period.
But no, I like that. I like what you said. The story does get greater later. Like you can use that analogy to any part of your life.
Mm-hmm.
Like just because it's bad today in entrepreneurship does not mean it's gonna be bad tomorrow. We have our good days, we have our bad days. I know people are seeing on social media all the glitz and glam. I'm here to tell you, don't believe a lot of things. Not gonna discredit anyone that's actually out here doing the things that they're saying they're doing, but a lot of times we do have bad days. A lot of times
Mm-hmm.
we're zero coming in, but we pushing out 500, 300, 1,000. Like it does cost to start any type of business.
Yes.
It's you can start any business with $0, but 30
Mm-hmm.
days later, the bill's going to come in. You have to earn some money. You have to go out here and what is it? What is it? No, not navigate, but you have to go out here and start talking to people. You have to go out here and be an
Network.
entrepreneur. Just like network. Just like I said at the very beginning, it's very easy to get a job, and it's in it, but it's very hard and challenging to be an entrepreneur. It's just like Natasha said at first, she was not a people person. She wasn't out here talking. She wasn't doing these things. Now, as an entrepreneur, you have to go out here and speak. I'm used to speaking in a certain genre of people because of the type of job I do. Now that I'm an entrepreneur, now I do have to put myself in a position that I do have to talk to other people outside of my normal, 9 to 5 genre type conversations. So for me, that was something that I have to learn. And also, an entrepreneur, you're going to learn things about yourself. You're going to find good things about yourself and you're going to find bad things about yourself. Don't beat yourself up. Treat this as a learning experience because as you become an entrepreneur, you are learning about yourself because you're putting yourself in situations that you don't know certain people. You're
Yep.
putting yourself in new atmospheres. You're learning new things. So as you go along on this journey, be open. Don't be closed in. I was very closed in at the very beginning. Don't be closed in. Introduce yourself to people. If you feel uncomfortable, bring someone with you. If no one can go with you, we have ear pods now. Put them in your ear and just walk around and talk and
Mm-hmm.
introduce yourself to people. But entrepreneurship, it's going to be hard. It's not easy. I don't want you all that listen to our podcast think that we're going to come up here and just give y'all fluff. No, it's hard. Some days I want to quit. Some days, listen, it took us, we going to keep it all the way 100. It took us a couple of weeks to do a second podcast. Why? Because we got a schedule. This entrepreneurship, though, we have a schedule. We have other things that come up, life things that come up. We went out to celebrate Natasha's first a big speaking arrangement engagement. It
Yes.
was real. Oh, tell them about it real quick.
So I did my first big, I'm not going to say my first speaking engagement, my first big speaking engagement. And when I say big, I mean hundreds of people in a room. Now, I've done a little brunch here and there with about 40 people. I've done that. That's comfortable for me. But to be speaking with hundreds of people and they're looking to you to deliver some information, it was terrifying. So Shanice and one of our other business friends, Shay, they was trying to get me to practice, and I'm like, I can't practice. I just have to speak because I have anxiety, and I did not know that I have anxiety when it comes to speaking, right? Until I became an entrepreneur. I hate talking on the phone. I am actually um
Really?
doing a 30-day mentorship with 3 different people. And it's still, for me, it's still a big deal to get on the phone. I hate getting on the phone. I love when they're not ready and they're not prepared, and I could just send a long text message, right? I'm being honest. I love that, but that's something that I learned about myself. I hate talking on the phone. I don't know what it is, but I start sweating. I start getting real bad anxiety behind talking on the phone. I do not like it, especially if you're I think that I'm just a perfectionist, right? So in my mind, am I going to say the right things to this person, right? Are they going to take in the information? Are they going to understand what I'm saying? I just don't like it. And then growing up, I always talked very slow. And this is something that I realized bothered me to this day, right? So growing up, I always talked very, very slow. And my aunt used to be like, just get to the point, right? So me now, when I'm teaching, I realize I speed through things because I don't want people to say she's talking slow, right? And
Oh,
it's
okay.
something that I did not know that I was doing until I would hear people say, and when you speak, slow down and speak. And I'd be like, damn, they really just don't know that in real life, like this, I talk slow, right? But I put it in my head that I got to speed up my talking, but it does not work. It's like, calm down, slow down, and speak.
You did good. You
But
did
yeah, like,
amazing.
listen, this entrepreneur journey, like Shanice said, it is not easy. And I think the hardest thing about it is accountability. When you have your own business, nobody is there to hold you accountable. When you work for somebody, they hold you accountable. They have to
Yeah,
be on you because you have to be to work on time. If you're
yeah,
not, you get written up, right? You have to write reports. You have to submit things at a certain time. You have to
yeah.
respond to emails by a certain time. In entrepreneurship, there's nobody to hold you accountable. And this is something that I'm learning. So this is the first time that I open my own business that's a real, like a big business, like a brick and mortar. So I have a brick and mortar. I'm running a spa. My spa has set hours that it has to be open. And when I first opened it, I would not be there if I didn't have appointments, right? And I realized, girl, this is not that little suite that you had. If you want people in the neighborhood to support you and come to you, you have to be open so they know when to come. But if
Yeah.
you're coming when you feel like it, they're never going to come because they don't know when you're open, right? So that
Ooh,
was something I had to hold myself accountable for. I would only, if I have appointments, I wasn't going. And then when I would open, people would come by and they would be like, oh, well, we were waiting for you to open. And I'm like, damn,
oh
that's
wow.
ghetto. That's ghetto, right? How
But you
am I
learned
supposed
something. That was what you learned too. You learned.
It
You learned.
was. So now I go there like I would my 9 to 5. If I worked at Massage Envy, I would be there whether I had clients or not. The only difference is I will be getting paid hourly, and the hourly is nothing anyway. So if I have to sit in my spot all day long, at least I can be getting content. At least I can go live. I could be doing something, and I'll still probably make the same amount of money if I worked for somebody else. Right? Because how
Yeah.
much money are we really making in a day when we work for somebody else?
Yeah.
$100, $200, probably the most. You're not making a lot of money when you work for other people. So I can make $100 by going live.
Uh huh.
I can make $200
Right.
if
That's right.
somebody walk in and get a facial. So for me, it's just like, girls, sit here and figure
Right.
it out.
Right.
Um, so that's something, as entrepreneurs, we have to learn. We have to look at how other businesses run. So
Yeah.
if you're a lash tech, right? Look at how, what is it called? Amazing Lash. Look at how they run. They're
Mhm.
open. People come to them all the time. You need to be open. People
Yeah.
need to come to you. People
Yeah.
like, if people want things right away. They don't want to make appointments. They want to
Appointment.
call, can
No.
I come in? That's what
They
they
want
want
to
to do.
pull up. They want to pull up and hop out.
Yep.
I'm
So
here,
you got to
sir.
be open. You got to be open.
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
No,
See, and that was a vulnerable moment for her because she admitted like I wasn't at the shop. I was out doing whatever she was doing. Then she realized, okay, in order for my business to be what she want her business to be, she realized the steps that she needed to take. Same
hmm
way with entrepreneurship. Don't overdo it. Don't overthink. Don't overanalyze. You're gonna learn something every day in your business. Every
Yep.
day in your business. Like for me, I've been doing ops for so long, but I do ops one way. I had to relearn ops for small business. I had to relearn ops for business minds, even though it's the same thing, but it's a lot of different terminologies and different ways that certain businesses do. But that's what it is when you pivot and when you move around in your business. Every chapter in your business, you learn something different, right?
hmm
So in entrepreneurship, just take every day as a new day, a new learning
Absolutely.
experience. And I would tell anyone, get a journal, write it down, because you will always write a book about your story. And if you really want to,
I can't wait to tell my story.
girl.
I'm not ready to tell it right now, but when I tell my story, y'all gonna be like, "What? This
Girl.
story? This is a journey, and I'm still on this journey. This entrepreneurship journey is a lot. Okay, um, don't think it's all sweet. It
No,
ain't.
it's not. Not. Like, we can talk about this all day. We can have so many chapters on entrepreneurship, but let us know what type of subjects, what type of topics y'all would like for us to discuss. As you can see, we will be here. What we decide weekly. What y'all want us? Y'all want us
Every other
weekly,
week. We said
monthly,
every other week for now.
every other week?
We'll
Okay.
see how they messing with us. If they really messing with us, then we come here often. And we could bring up some guests if y'all really messing with us. But we gotta see because y'all be playing games with us.
No, we got some guests. Yeah, we got some guests. We can bring some
So
guests.
before we go, what's one thing that you feel like, what was one big lesson that you learned in entrepreneurship?
Go with your gut.
Ooh,
If I
that's
would have with my gut with a couple of things, a
ooh.
lot of things would have fell out differently. And then another thing I want to say, not one, two, keep it to yourself. Your
Mm.
ideas,
I feel
anything,
like you talking to me,
keep
child.
it to yourself. Keep it to yourself. Listen, like just like Nana said, boy, if I could tell the story, I might have changed the characters' names. But keep it to yourself. Trust me,
That's
y'all.
good.
What
I'm
about
trying
you?
to think of I'm trying to think what was a big lesson that I learned. Um, this one is so very cliche, right? Um, the people closest to you will not be your first supporters.
That's
And I
true.
know it sounds very cliche, but this was one of the hardest lessons I had to learn. Like I get in my feelings when I'm telling somebody to do something that's close to me and they don't do it until they hear it from somebody else. So then they come to me and be like,
Yeah.
oh, now I'm ready to build business credit. Girl, I told you this 3 years ago. Like that really bothers me. And I
I
guess
can.
because people know you for one being one way, they don't know you as this business credit enthusiast or, whatever I want to call myself. They don't know me as that, right? So it's
Right.
hard for them to see me as that. So I'm learning to just accept that. Don't take it personal. These people will not be your first people
Yeah.
to support you. And then another thing, like people may be going through some real stuff that they can't even see beyond where you trying to get them to see. So they may see them selling their little clothes or doing lashes. They don't see it being a big business. So you're telling them to get business credit and they're like, girl, I'm not doing this. Like this is just something that I'm just doing on the side because they don't believe as big as you do. So that was just something that I learned. Everybody's not
So
going to have
let's.
your vision and it is what it is. Don't take it personal.
Yes. Ooh, don't take it personal.
So
Yeah.
maybe that should be it. Don't take it personal.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah. You will get in your feelings. Don't take nothing in. Ooh, that's good. Don't take nothing in business personal.
But
Don't.
you know what? It's hard not to take it personal
It
because
is.
I am one of those people that I always tell myself, don't take it personal. And I give people the benefit of doubt. And then those people hurt me again. And it be like, damn, like I should just trust my gut the first time when they was
But you're
being
human.
shady or ignoring me or, when I felt the way I felt, it was real. So,
But it's
I
okay.
guess it's case by case,
I mean,
don't
you're
take it
human.
personal.
It happens. We always
Absolutely.
say, don't take it personal. In some cases, you're gonna be like, "Hold on, did you just try me?"
Did
You be sitting
you
back like,
just say?
"What?" No,
Nah,
I'm
she
gonna be
ain't do
real
that.
cute. I'm gonna be cute. We in this meeting. I ain't trying to act stupid in here. Them people don't know me.
Listen, this be me all the time. I be
You
like,
be in your mind like, you don't know me. I'm gonna go ahead and just let you be for right now. But
and I could be very passive. Like I could be very passive. Sometimes I could be very aggressive too. But I'm always passive at first. And then once you tick me off, it's like no calming me down. It's like I said what I said, now I don't even care no more. And somebody could be talking to me, I don't hear nothing you saying because now I'm mad. Because I've been being a little too passive the last 6 times you done tried me.
but she
So
been working on herself. We're an entrepreneur.
oh, I'm not like that to my clients. My clients get a whole nother person. Girl, I be on the other line like they want to cancel. This is me, right? It's okay. Just let me know. Just call when you want to rebook your appointment. It is okay. I hope everything's great. But in my mind, I'm like, girl, you just messed up my money. I just thought I met my goal for the day. Like so
That's
I'm
some
a
real
different person.
stuff. It's a real. Y'all know y'all be saying this. Y'all know
This is
y'all
real
be
life
saying
stuff.
this because
And
I
that
be too.
listen, and now we talking about that next episode. We need to talk about. customer service for entrepreneurs, because you see how I just turned that down like that to my customers. Some of y'all be on the phone and y'all be like, well, it's a you can't book again until you pay 25. That's not how you run business. Like what? But we gonna talk about that in
But
another
see, that's
episode.
why they call me, because see, I can tell them how to do customer service. That they see me. See, the way I do it, you ain't even gotta talk to them because I got a whole system. We ain't even gotta go back and forth. We ain't go
Period.
back and forth. My system does all that, man.
See, that's why you need Shanice in your business.
My system. We're not gonna debate. You either go to push yes or no.
See, girl,
It's okay,
customer
but this
service
is
is
the
needed,
real
okay?
entrepreneurship. See, that's the
These are
real.
things you will deal with. You'll deal with people canceling on you, and you have to accept it as this is a part of the game. You
Yeah.
think when European Wax Center get cancellations, they get mad? No, this is the part of the game. Guess what they gonna do? Call up some more clients that they haven't seen in a long time. That's what
Mm-hmm.
we have to do in our businesses. We have to pivot. We have to understand how to be hustlers and how to make money.
Mm-hmm.
Entrepreneurship is not cute.
No,
It's not
no.
cute.
You gotta be quick on your feet too, because that's your money. You gotta
You got
make
to be
your
a
money.
problem solver all the time.
Yes. Or hire me.
Period.
What?
Or hire me. That was cute. That was cute.
Howard, let's just hire entrepreneurship. We'll come in and fix that whole thing up. What you need, we got it.
Period. Proper business structure,
What
back
you
office
need?
stuff, funnels, lead magnets, email marketing, text marketing. Hello,
We're a
we
whole
got it.
package. We're a whole
Funds,
package. Business.
products.
Listen, business in the box. Business on the go.
Okay.
Do for you services. Let us know. Just hit us right there. Follow us on entrepreneurship. Ship.
Yes.
Send us a
Entrepreneur.
DM, and we got your back.
Listen, so this was good. I think you think we gave him enough, or you think we gave
I
him
mean, we
enough?
can always do a part two. We can always do a part two. Can't
We
give them
should
earth.
bring somebody on next time.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. Who should we bring on next? We
Y'all
got
got to comment below who we should bring on next for part two.
yeah.
So
Who
we'll
would y'all
probably
like?
bring another episode before part two, but we gonna still do another
We
part
gonna
two of it
catch
because
up.
we want to know the good, the bad, and the ugly
Mhm.
of entrepreneurship for other people, right? We exposed a little bit about ourselves, but we want to know what other people have experienced too.
But
Because there's a lot
also,
more we could say, but
if you're an entrepreneur and you want to come into entrepreneurship and you just don't know, you can also come on here on the podcast. And you can ask us questions. Tell us what your reservations are, why you don't want to be an entrepreneur. Tell us, how do you see from the outside world? Even though we are outside, but we are in both worlds. Let us know as an outside, person that want to come in entrepreneurship today. What do you see? And just come on and talk to us. Let us know what you see about the entrepreneurship world, and maybe we
yeah,
can help you.
yeah. So this was good.
All right.
Listen. We will see you all at the next episode. Make sure you follow me at Natasha Shanae.
And
Follow
you,
Entrepreneurship.
yes, and follow me at her Shanice B. I think that's my right name on Instagram.
Oh gosh.
Oh, we
Listen,
just
we'll
talking
put it in
about.
the caption. We'll put it
I put it
somewhere
down in the
down
caption
below.
below. I be forget. I got so many businesses. But I thank you all for joining us today and all the support that we are getting for our podcast. We very much appreciate it, and we will see you all next time.
Yes, lady.
Bye.